Hola, amigos! Brad Evans here. It's time for another edition of Bring the Noise here. AMA, I'm here to serve you, the fantasy football audience. And for those of you that want to get some sports betting action ahead of the main slate in week 8, I aim to please as well. Going to be here for the next several minutes answering all of your pressing fantasy football and sports betting needs. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, those are the various ways you can contact me here on the show. Of course, on Facebook at Yahoo Noise, Twitch Big Noise 78, YouTube, and the Fade the Noise channel, and right there on X, where I'm always going to tell you at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X, at Noisy Huevos. We got all kinds of injury news and notes that have come out here the last about 24 hours or so. We just got a note that Tua Tagovailoa is dealing with an illness. He is still going to be good to go against the ATL, but does downgrade him. I did take the under on his pass yards prop at $199.5, and I'm sure that number is going to come tumbling down. He's on a very short leash to begin with. Because Miami is an absolute mess. Yes, the failing Flippers just continue to flop around in the water there on South Beach, and they got a difficult matchup today, taking on the Atlanta Falcons. They're in the Jewel of the South, as the ATL has been outstanding defensively, should really be able to get after the quarterback and create all kinds of havoc. So, yeah, tough sledding to say the least. It is Blymageddon after all, with Arizona, Detroit, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, the LA Rams, and Seattle all on a 1-week siesta. So guys like Tua, you're just hoping to, squeeze blood from the turnip essentially, and maybe get 15 fantasy points out of them. And then those super flex formats and those single quarterback leagues that are of deep mind, but that could be a tough hurdle to eclipse. So there you go. We'll have to wait and see what Tua does today, and a whole bunch of other guys as well. Again, those are the various ways to get a hold of me here on this AMA. If you're just now joining on Facebook at Yahoo Noise, Twitch Big Noise 78, YouTube, the Faith and Noise channel, and on X, where I'm always giving it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X, at Noisy Huevos. Before we get into the countdown, I was doing an abbreviated edition of the Fade 5. I'm going to, tell you about my partners at Betalytics. They're on my website, thegamingjuice.com. Awesome product. Rachel Kryshak. Sorry about your Blue Jays last night, Rachel. She's from Canada, diehard Toronto fan, and they let you down. But, hey, you got one there in your friendly confines. We'll see if you can get one and get one back in the City of Angels coming up here in the Fall Classic. But, Rachel does an excellent job cranking out all of her mathematical equations there and algorithms on the Betalytics app, on the Betalytics site. I use it every single day in my research, just one of many sources that I use to pull together my various opinions, including these own two eyes, because not everything is numerically based. You got to, match it up with the eye test and what you see. But if you go to Betalytics.com, check out all of their fantasy football projections, their player prop projections, sides, totals, all that stuff. You can use promo code JUICE. That's promo code JUICE for 25% off. And again, I use it every day. An invaluable resource in my mind. All right, let's go ahead and dive in on the abbreviated edition of the Fade 5. These are my favorite player props of the day. Numero tres, mi amigos. Let's get in gear with some Tyler Algier in that aforementioned matchup against the Miami Dolphins. Love Algier. I wrote about him as a fantasy flame candidate, the running back position this week. I know he's a little bit dinged up, but should get a hefty workload. I bet the over on 9.5 rush attempts as well. It was plus money a couple of days ago, now at minus odds. This could be like a 15-carry game for him, and what should be a very positive game script. You look at the Dolphins, they enter the week number 26. They've been rubbish in a rush EPA defense, giving up 5.19 yards per carry, 128.3 rush yards per game, just to the running back position. 7 RBs have gone for at least a half century on the ground against them. And you look at Algier, yeah, he's only getting 29.9% of the opportunity share. Clear second fiddle to Bijan Robinson, but he's got at least 10 rush attempts in 4 or 6 games. He's gone for at least 50 yards in a couple of contests this year. Netting an appreciable number 22 ranking in yak per attempt. So, and again, in this bye Mageddon, 6 teams sleeping on that 1 week siesta. He has got RB2 upside through and through in 12-team formats. I think it's going to be north of 50, and I think he's going to find the end zone as well on at least 10 carries at home against those woeful Miami Dolphins. Números on the abbreviated edition of the Fade of 5 countdown. You guys know I'm a big Manon guy. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Another second fiddle, DeAndre Swift, is still going to be the main man in that backfield. And, of course, we got some massive news yesterday that does pertain to this matchup. And I think elevates the value potential from a guy with Lamar Jackson not expected to go today. I'm going to get some Tyler Huntley there under center. And, Snoop has had his moments at times in his career, but the Bears should show up and show out, especially on the ground, because you look at the Ravens, they're number 31 entering the week in rush EPA defense. And you look at a guy, a guy that had, with 13 carries, 81 yards last week on the ground against Nolans, a much stiffer foe in the trenches. The yak per attempt is improving, though. A lackluster RB39 in that category this season has only forced 1 missed tackle on his 22 rush attempts this year. But you look at the Ravens, they're giving up 4.73 yards per carry, 109.3 rush yards per game, nine running backs have gone over the needed number here at 28.5 rush yards against him. So give me Kyle Manungai. Has some flexy, sexy appeal, some RB2 upside in 12-team and deeper leagues, getting to at least 29 rush yards on the road against the downtrodden Baltimore Ravens. And numero uno on this edition of the Feed 5 Countdown, Rico Herrera Dowdle. Yeah, Rico Suave. Mr. Dowdle, for all you Gerardo fans out there, one-hit wonder from the 1990s. He's going to make you dance with his shirt off, I think, in your living room. I like the over on the 50.5 rush yards prop. It's crept up. I grabbed it open at 48.5. It was sitting at 49.5 until this morning, and it tacked on another yard. I still think that number is suppressed. Taking on the Buffalo Bills. That's a minus 110 juice. By the way, available at BetMGM. Buffalo has been one of the more skewerable, I think that's a word, defenses on the ground this season, number 30 in rush EPAD. They're giving up 5.44 yards per carry, 116 flat rush yards per game. Again, just to the running back position. 5 running backs have reached 51 ground yards against them this year. And Dowdle, I know he was outsnapped 38-32 by Chuba Hubbard last week, but hopefully Dave Canales looked in the mirror and said, I need to give Rico the ball a little bit more. Yes, please, and thank you. I think if Canales has any functional brain cells, he's going to go like 60-40 split in favor of Dowdle. We'll see. I think he's going to get at least 14, 15 carries in this game. A guy that could do so and really inflict some serious damage appreciably if he's that kind of volume. 3.79 yak per attempt is number 7 in the NFL, and he's also top 17 in missed tackles for. So Rico Dowdle, I think, is definitely a top 20 RB play in this bye-heavy week, and I love the over on 50.5 rush yards against those underachieving Buffalo Bills in the trenches at a minus 110 there at BetMGM. All right, I'm about to dive into your questions. And I answer every single one here on the show. Get through as many as I can here the next 45 minutes or so. That's how you submit them on the Bring the Noise AMA, Facebook at Yahoo Noise, Twitch at the Big Noise 78. Channel there, YouTube and Fade the Noise, and on X, where I'm always giving it to you, all of my opinions. And for those of you that are like, why don't you answer my question? Living in your self-centered world, I also run a business. It's called thegamingjuice.com, you jackwagons. So I don't answer questions on X except if they come in on this broadcast, except when they come on my BetMGM Tonight broadcast. You can check it out. Stations nationwide, Odyssey, iHeart, streams on thegamingjuice.com every Monday through Friday from 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Myself and my outstanding colleague, Ryan Horvat. So, yes, I am one of the most accessible guys in the industry. I take a great pride in that. That's why I'm doing these AMAs as well. And I'm also running a business. So if I don't answer your question on X during the week and I point you to go to somewhere else, that's still absolutely free to do so. I don't hate. All right. I'm still somebody that's willing to do it. By the way, go to my website, thegamingjuice.com, you jackwagons, and sign up for a free account. All of my fantasy football advice throughout the entire week lives there. I'm always updating my player ranks at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end every single week on the site. My Fantasy Flames columns, the most decorated writer in fantasy football history. They live there as well. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. My top props pieces. I'm trying out primetime props. I already have one for Sunday Night Football tonight and Monday Night Football. Those pieces are live if you're looking for some of that action, and also give you some fantasy insights in there as well. And click that Ask Brad button at the top of the screen and fire off your questions. Got to have an account, but it's free to sign up. So go to thegamingjuice.com, you jackals, and sign up for a free account. Click, converse, and cash, ... maybe. All right, I'm going to dive into your questions right stinking now. And here we go. They're already coming in fast and furious. And I appreciate all you that are listening here on the broadcast. Hey, by the way, give me a thumbs up. Give me the middle finger emoji if you want. I don't care. Interact with this program however you can beyond just asking a question. So if you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on LinkedIn, you're watching on X, you're watching there on Twitch, whatever platform it is, YouTube, give me some sort of emoji saying, hey, yeah, I'm actually digging this program, or I hate it, but I'm still watching it. I don't mind the Howard Stern effect as well. Really appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and get after it here. Headliners TV's leading the way. Our first question today, Joe Flacco or Aaron Rodgers, two guys that do a lot of chair yoga in their advanced age to stay limber and fit is my estimation. I actually like both these guys quite a bit this week. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers kind of in a Aaron Rodgers bowl of sorts. Is it a revenge game? No. I mean, Aaron Rodgers even said, I'm going to retire as a Green Bay Packer. Not at all a revenge game scenario. And Flacco, I bet on the over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think both these guys are going to be good for multi-TD performances, but under the primetime lights, Aaron Rodgers thrives in those kind of moments and situations. I can't go away from him. And I think this is kind of a lucky 7 situation, despite the advanced age of both these guys. Extremely long teeth, to say the least. But give me Aaron Rodgers, slight edge over Joe Flacco. Evan says, flex, PPR. I am close between Judkins and Jaylen Warren. Oh, yeah. That PPR element adds a twist there because Warren is usually good for 3 to 4 receptions. I think Quinshon Judkins got to find the end zone. I wouldn't be at all surprised. The Cleveland Browns are highly competitive. Will they win? I doubt it, but I think they're going to be right there in the thick of it. So give me Judkins because I think the TD appeals a little bit higher. But, man, I wish I had that luxury. Oh, J-Red shouting the phrase that pays. Daddy want, daddy need. Daddy gotta have it. Da, 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 da. Oh boy, I got a limp sledgehammer. I think it's running. That's an ominous sign right there. Woo! Needs a little air. I think we got a leak. Anyway, J-Red says Bears are plus 130. I'll take that money line. Yeah, I think it's a great call, especially with Snoop Huntley under center. And two, I do worry about the Bears in the back end. They're still a work in progress in that secondary, but that trench defense is really starting to tighten up. So, look, I think the Bears are an excellent play on the money line. Is recency bias bleeding through? Maybe a little bit. But again, looking at the matchup, whether on paper, whether with the eye test and what you see with the Baltimore Ravens pre-buy, it's not all that encouraging. So, yeah, I think Jay Red, you're on to something there. And hopefully the limp sledgehammer is not that ominous sign and hopefully does not come true. Good luck to you there. TV says, hola, Brad. Let's see. Ocho Blanco, a try. I've never had Ocho Blanco, mi amigo, and I'm a big tequila enthusiast. I was sipping on love juice last night, a little Adictivo Añejo. Woo-hoo, muy bueno, mi amigo. Try that if you haven't, but I'll try to search out Ocho Blanco and give it a whirl. I'm not a big Blanco guy normally, and I usually use that as a mixer and the margaritas that I make. And, I don't use any of that like pre-mixed solution nonsense that you buy at the store. I hand make everything with some agave syrup, a couple of limes, a shot of tequila, always Blanco when I'm making margs with a shot of Grand Marnier. And that really puts over the top, not only for your buzz, but also for the taste. Yeah, that's the big noise margarita that I make. I can share the recipe. I usually do certain times of the year on X at Noisy Huevos. Answer your question about Dowdle or Swift. I love both these options, but I'm going to go Rico Arena Dowdle. Again, the Ravens nearly bottom basement in rush EPAD. I think Rico Dowdle, assuming Dave Canales gets in the ball, multiple times, should have a marvelous game. Phil says, hola, amigo, hola. Oh, yeah, Quentin Johnson. That sucked. I know the feeling all too well. How do the Chargers score 30-plus points, and he doesn't even see a single target? He's running routes all over the field, and Herbert wouldn't even look at his way. It was wild. Fantasy. The NFL. Highly unpredictable. Upside, May or Mayfield. It's Baker Mayfield for me. Yeah, I know Mike Evans is out, but you got Emeka Ibuka. Another week to get closer to full strength. I love Tez Johnson today. As a matter of fact, I think he's going to show up and show out. Kate Otten has been able to move the chains of regularity here of late. I think there's more upside with Baker Mayfield. May could get bottled up, especially on the ground. Won't be padding his stats and really raising the floor as much as we've seen against that Cleveland Browns defense. At least that's what I'm assuming. Falcons or Broncos defense. I'm going to go with the ATL. Again, Tua is on extremely short leash. He's unwell. That was already reported earlier today. This could be another multi-interception kind of game. Maybe get a pick six out of it. So give me the Atlanta Falcons. Good luck to you. Ryan says, good morning. Good morning to you. Chuba or Krosky Merritt in a standard. Give me JCM. Again, if Canales actually went back and watched the film, and I guarantee he did, and he had that epiphany in his head, he's like, yeah, plus you feature Rico Dowdle a little bit more. And lay off Chuba Hubbard, who outsnapped Dowdle by 6 snaps last week. So I think JCM's got a little bit more potential against a Kansas City front line that's been suboptimal, to say the least. Rob says, hola, pick 2. Let's see. Camille Shakir, not Shakira. That'd be interesting if she was out there shaking her moneymaker. Wan'Dale Robinson, Debo Samuel, Theo Johnson. I want Debo against the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday night. Could be a heavy target kind of game for him, kind of like the over on his 4.5 rush yards as well. And do I go Shakir or Wan'Dale Robinson? I'm going to go Wan'Dale Robinson. I think it's a slightly higher floor. Could be peppered with targets in that matchup against Fly, Eagles Fly. Good luck to you. Todd says, hola, Brad. Hola to you. How to bench A.J. Brown? Yeah, he's not playing. Start one of my flex. Waddle. Booty, you got to slap that booty, or you got to go against the starting 2 tight ends, or go with the starting 2 tight ends. Kraft and Kittle. Dude, it's National Tight Ends Day. I'm playing the tight ends. I bet on George Kittle anytime touchdown at 2-1 a couple of days ago. I'm locked in. I know it's a difficult matchup against H-Town, but my God, coming off the Krispy Kreme output that he had last week, he's going to be force-fed. I think there's a really good chance that he is going to splash 6. And Tucker Kraft, you know what he does, just eats up hash marks left and right. I play both tight ends. Peter says, go Knicks! All right, I guess it is the NBA season. I didn't bet on it. You see what I did there. Brad, should I start rah-rah? There's a couple of rah-rahs. There's I'm on rah-rah St. Brown. and Ramondre, but St. Brown, of course, is on that bye week. So this is Ramondre Stevenson or DeAndre Swift. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift. Good luck to you there. Bill says, good morning, Brad. Good morning to you. PBR, if London is out, he's questionable. I would be surprised if he didn't go, but I don't have any inside scoop. So in that realm, if he is indeed in street clothes, I go with Woody Marks. Burton is definitely third on the list. Dobbs would be option numero dos. Good luck to you there. Clint says, hola, amigo. Smash that thumbs up. Yeah, please do. Again, you give me the middle finger emoji. It's totally acceptable. I'm not going to be offended. I get bad advice often. Clint says, Senor Brad, in my standard league, would you sub in Tez Johnson and bench Pacheco or London? If I'm going to bench anybody, it's Isaiah Pacheco. Now, I do like Pacheco tomorrow night to go for like 50 yards, and I think he's got a really good shot of finding the end zone. Here's the good news is, with London being questionable, if he is inactive, that answers your question for you. But I think Tez Johnson and Pacheco are comparable. If London is active, I still play him with the ancient Kirk Cousins under center at 37 years young. Man, I love me some Tez. So I would give the ever so slight edge to Tez over Pacheco because the advantage you have to take against the New Orleans Saints is in that secondary. And he's going to get some Kool-Aid McKinstry. Ooh, yeah. Who's allowed the fifth most yards to his assignments. Ooh, yeah, this season. So a beneficial matchup there for Tez Johnson. Matt says, hola, amigo. Hola to you. Half-point PPR need a flex. Harvey Menengai or Burden. Again, I'm on Kyle Menengai in the over on 28.5 rush yards in the prop market. That doesn't really move the needle, I understand, for fantasy, but he could go for like 40 or 50 with a score possibly as well. The place where you got to take advantage of Baltimore is in the trenches. And if the Bears can build a decent lead, I think there is a decent shot that Menengai gets in. Again, I have been screaming and yelling for weeks, really since the summer, for Ben Johnson to feature Kyle Menengai more. He fits that zone scheme to a T. He ran nothing but outside zone at Rutgers, and congratulations, and you're coming from behind victory yesterday against the PU Boilermakers. They're Greg Schiano. So, again, that's essentially what the Bears are trying to run. Good one cut and go back. I like Menengai quite a bit. Good luck to you, Matt. Rake Flyer says, don't forget the thumbs up. Oh, thanks. I appreciate the shout out there. Guillermo, long-winded question here. Let me try to speed through this. Hola, Brad. Hola to you. I'm probably overthinking. I'm starting Judkins at a PPR, but I have Dowdle on the bench. Right move? Yeah, I still play Judkins, although it's close. Is Lamb being shadowed today or doesn't matter? No, it doesn't matter. CeeDee Lamb is one of the best route runners and separators in the game. He's still going to get his customary probably like 7 to 9 targets. Wandale's on my bench. Wants him, but I won't let him. I stay the course of what you currently have. There's no way that I bench CeeDee Lamb, even with Surtain likely covering him the entire game. It's not like Surtain has been ultimately a lockdown corner today. All right, Tommy says, hello, bud. Hi, bud. What am I, like 6? Looking forward to week 9. Hurts on a bye. Jesus, you're thinking about week 9. I'm thinking about week 8, brah. Pick up Rodgers to the Colts or Donald versus the Commanders. I'll play Aaron Rodgers. I'm not even processing week 9 yet. Just slow down. Look, I like working ahead too, but it's Sunday. We got to focus on the here and now, which is week 8. Rodgers says, hola, Brad. Full point PBR need 2. Ramondre Stevenson. Judkins. Michael Pittman or Dowdle. Dowdle is in, and I'm going to go with Judkins as the other as well. Great options. Again, luxuries. I wish I had it. Oh, Tommy now asking me an actual question tied to this week. Dobbs or Olave and Franklin or Golden. Golden's a little bit banged up. Great matchup on paper for him. But Franklin, my God, you're facing the Cowpokes. Give me Franklin. And I'm going to go Chris Olave for the other one. Good luck to you, Tommy. Other league, more actual week 8 questions. Do I drop Dobbs or Ertz to get what? No, you're not dropping either. Here's the thing about Christian Watson. He's a bit of a one-trick pony. He's a big play receiver. That's about it. He's got to shake off the rust that dust has accumulated over all these weeks and months. He's still spreading the ball around in that offense. No, I'm not dropping Ertz or Dobbs for Christian Watson. Pass. Evan says, who are we feeling a flex PPR? Jerry, Judy, Downs, Dowdle, Schultz, Pitts, Mooney. It's Rico Arera Dowdle. Yeah, I know you're going to be sick of hearing me say that over and over again, but hey, crank the volume on that, man. Clint says, amigo, full point PPR, drop one today and rest of the season. Auden, no, I'm not dropping him. Let's see. Calvin Austin, Dalton Schultz. You're keeping the tight ends. That's an easy one. It's Calvin Austin. Bye-bye. Just trade ETN for Bucky. Your thoughts? Great. I have no thoughts because I have no idea when Bucky Irving is actually going to return to an NFL field. So, I mean, obviously you're chasing the upside. Hopefully he's going to be back in the next couple of weeks. But, man, it's been slow drip on the news really coming out about him. Good luck. Bandit says, bye week issue, half point PPR. Would you drop one of the below for a QB2 in a super flex? Walker, Etienne, Charbs. Kittle is my super flex spot right now, and I have Ferguson my tight end. I mean, if you're dropping anybody, it would be Charbonnet, but I wouldn't recommend it for a 1 week rental. I mean, I got Kittle scoring a touchdown today. So if he gets you double figure production, and I don't know what kind of quarterbacks you have out there, you know, if it's like a Dylan Gabriel or something like that, I mean, it's a firm pass. Because Kittle, if he gets you anywhere between 10 to 12 points, is probably going to actually best at anything that Gabriel does. So just a, point, an example. I would stay the course there with Kittle and keep your bevy of backs on your bench. Paul says, buenos dias, amigo. Buenos dias to you. I need a wide receiver help, but need to drop somebody. I have Worthy, but Booty. Oh, smack that Booty is available. Would you drop Dowdle? No, I'm not dropping Rico. Hell no. I love him today. Stay the course with Rico Dowdle. You're doing fine at running back. If he blows up today, shop him, trade him. I'm telling you, man, I got a really good feeling that Dave Canales has seen the light. Ah! And the angels had descended from the heavens. And they said, you want to go to heaven, my man? You play Rico Dowdle. Yeah, hopefully that's the case. Jay Red says, it hurts so good. Or Allen. I'll go Allen. No A.J. Brown. It's close. But I got a feeling that Buffalo is going to be in a highly competitive matchup today against the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, with the red rifle, rusty red rifle under center. Bill says Ted or Dobbs. Give me Ted McMillan. Pat says, buenos dias, huevos. Picantes, hermano. I don't understand all that Spanish. I took 4 years in high school. Donde está el baño is about what I remember. All the curse words. And of course, Master Vesa, tequila, the important words when you're in Mexico. And honestly, Donde está el baño is really important when you're south of the border. I've been there multiple times. I've used that multiple times. PPR Flex, Red Hot Swift, Higgins Renaissance with Flacco, McMillan, or Waddle. Sledgehammer time. Again, my sledgehammer's limp. It's dead. It's a bad sign. Let's see. I'm going to go with, give me T. Higgins. Really good shot there. He's got to find the end zone. I like DeAndre Swift. This is kind of a 1A, 1B. Chris says, hola, amigo. Hola to you. Lamar is out. Need quarterback help. Mariota, Fields, or Cousins. Give me Marcus Mariota. Justin Fields is broken. Kirk Cousins, I don't know what we're going to get. Will he even survive the entire game? Such a stone statue there in that offensive backfield. Steve says, hola, sir. Hola to you. Full boy PPR need one, please, out of Shakir, Io Manor, or Booty, or also Mooney if London sits. Well, if London sits, Mooney is in. That's automatic. If not, I'm going to go with Khalil Shakir. Good luck to you, Steve. Joe says, hola, you jackwagon. Hola to you, you jackwagon. I need some help at flex. Dobbins, Breece Hall, or Juggernaut Javonte Williams. Man, such luxurious options. I'm going to go J.K. Dobbins. I think he's got to find the end zone. It's really close between him and Williams, and Hall is a distant third because of Jets. Again, they're single-engine Cessnas right now, folks. Hurts or Flacco? I will go with Hurts, please. PBR, keep dropping that hammer. Yeah, good luck to you there, mi amigo. Man, we got a lot of questions. They're still coming in. Keep bringing them, folks. Keep bringing the noise. Let's see. Willarote, party of three. PPR. White or Devontae Smith? Ooh, this is a really tight one. I'm going to go Devontae Smith. Gut feeling there. Good luck to you. Romeo Noms or Tez, not Tex Johnson. I'm going to go Tez, please. Hopefully he's going to be shooting them out like Tex. Gypsy Queen says, Hola, who's your favorite streaming tight end this week? Well, I don't know how deep your league is. That's a very open-ended question. If I'm going to go with a tight end, I mean, Dalton Kincaid shouldn't be available. Carolina's given up oodles of yards to the tight end position. Evan Ingram's another guy that shouldn't be available. A guy that I would highly recommend. I mean, Tyler Warren is 10,000% gone. Tucker Kraft, 10,000% gone. I mean, Zach Ertz may get some garbage time points in KC. I need more context, Gypsy, to fully understand what is available. It's a very broad question. When I think of streaming, I'm thinking like really deep guys, like an Isaiah Likely, who's likely indeed available, but maybe Gunnar Helm. That's a possibility as well if you're going to go that deep. Justin says, huevos, gigantes, mi amigos. Yeah, got to have big balls sometimes if you want to succeed in fantasy and betting. Baker, the touchdown maker, or Joe Flacco. I actually bet, no lie, I built a 2-leg parlay out of my always free, transparent, and public spreadsheet at thegamingjuice.com. I'm already down nearly 4 units of the week. Thursday night sucked. So I'm scratching and clawing and trying to dig out of my hole. So I'm building some parlays in the mixed parlay section of the spreadsheet. I added both these guys have at least 2 passing touchdowns. So I think they're similar, but I go with Baker Mayfield. AS says, should I trade Gadsden and Benson for Ted McMillan and Downs? No, I don't do that. I mean, decent trade, but Benson is he should be back here in the next couple of weeks. I mean, it's only week 8. We're at the halfway mark, essentially, of the season. So, I say the course there with what you currently got. AS says, my team has Mahomes, London, Pickens, Debo, Bijan, Taylor, Gadsden. Oh, my gosh, names, and more names. Great. Thanks, AS. Where you want to go with this? 7 of them. Great. Are you just bragging? Do you want credit? Bravo. Slow. Flipping. Clap. Great, man. You're 7-0. All right. Just calm down. And a lot of us are not in that situation. We need help. We don't need braggarts out here. Adam says, desperate times, Pierce or Jawan Jennings. I'm going to go with Pierce there. Good luck to you. Aubrey says, hola, Brad. Hola to you. Half point PPR pick 2. Judkins, Brees, or Chase Brown. Thank you. Brees sits. I'm going to go getting down with my dude, Chase Brown. Yeah. The maple syrup. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Oh, Canada. Yeah, he's from Canada. That's why they gave me syrup and in the shape of a maple leaf. Way to go, Canada. And then Judkins for me. Let's see. John says, hola, full point PPR, Ferguson or Warren? Ooh, Tyler Warren, please. And thank you. Could be the tight end of the week. Colin Burden or Bond playing one over Leggett without Bryce. I kind of go Leggett. And Andy Dalton is your classic pocket passer. Unlike Bryce, he may actually read defenses better than Bryce Young at this juncture in his career. So, this could be a negative game script. I kind of like Leggett coming up that monster target share they had last week. If you are determined to go Bond or Burden, I would go Luther Burden over Bond. But again, I think the volume is going to be much higher for Leggett. Rake Flyer says, what percentage of your decisions are based on trends? Good question. Not monumental percent. I mean, there's so many factors that go into everything that I calculate and measure. And eventually, I only have a limited number of time, amount of time to figure out flames, lames, some of my start sit decisions, some of my plays in a player props market. So, if I see data, I'm a data-driven guy. I usually fire off on certain tickets immediately if I like the matchup. Trends can play a factor at times, but I would say it's like maybe 20-25% of what I put into everything I do. It's one of the measurements, one of the factoids that's out there and using in my calculation. But I don't have any like fancy spreadsheets or algorithms or mathematical equations, none of that stuff. That's not who I am. I'm traditionally a guy that, I do my research. I often fire off on my gut and I just let it ride. Yeah, fade or follow, I always say that is entirely up to you. So Trent's play factor, but that an overwhelming factor. A good question though. Let's see. Quest for FFL, Daniel's out. Mariota, Huntley, Mac Jones, Cousins, or Ratley, Spencer Rattler. I'm going to go Mac Jones here. I think it's far and away Mac Jones. Mariota would be like a 2C in that equation. Lefty says rough quarterback week. Yeah, with Lamar Jackson hurt and Stafford on a bye. Mariota, Cousins, or Huntley. There I will go Marcus Mariota. Brandon says Dak or Jones at quarterback. Give me the Dak attack. I understand it's Denver, but that game every single week, Dallas Cowboys games practically have gone over in 5 of 7. They're high scoring affairs. I don't think today's going to be any different. You got to remember Riley Moss is also in that secondary. He has been overly forgiving. That could be the primary assignment of George Pickens. So Dak can really take advantage of it. Some Justin from Jake Ferguson, I should say, underneath. And CeeDee Lamb's still going to get probably 7 or 9 targets. So I would go. Oh, you're asking then Denver's defense or the Bears? I got to play the Bears. Got to play the Bears against Tyler Huntley and that Baltimore Ravens struggle bus offense right now. If London can't go, do I start Waddle or Tez Johnson? I start Tez, believe it or not. I really do. I wrote about him on my site, thegamingjuice.com. Yeah, jackals, it's free. I hope you're checking it out. I'm working my butt off. Am I making any money? No! I do it for the love of writing and content creation. It's the name of my game. Same with this. I'm not going to pay for this either. Steve says, full point PPR flex. Io Manor today or Pacheco tomorrow. Definitely Isaiah Pacheco for me, not remotely close. Scott says, hey, Brad, May or Danny Dimes. Ooh, close. I think I have Danny Dimes slightly higher in my ranks. Peter says, would you go Dak or Drake May? I'm going to go Dak. Daniel says, I have Jordan Love. Should I pick up Mariota, Flacco, or Rodgers for this week? Only need points. Well, that's kind of the name of the game, right? We all need points. I'm going to go Jordan Love, although it's really close with all those guys. Uno Mas from Clint, drop one SGP leg, por favor. Panthers money line over Bills. Well, that's ballsy. Same with the Giants money line over Eagles. Less ballsy, but still ballsy. Dalton Schultz touchdown. Loveland splashing first TD. I don't like any of these except for the Schultz TD. To be frank with you, I would drop like most of those legs and rebuild. I mean, I know what you're trying to do here. You're trying to build an outrageous priced SGP. But I think the weakest link is Loveland, if any of them, which probably guarantees he's going to score. So you might want to stick with it. Joey says, brutal quarterback week. Lamar out, Stafford on a bye. Already answered this question and went Mac Jones. Joe says, Pittman or Waddle. Give me Pittman. Ryan says, hola, amigo. Need a wide receiver between Mooney, Io Manor, or Hollywood. Knicks or Rodgers. Give me Knicks. And I'll go with Mooney with a banged up Drake London. Keith says, hola, bonjour. How you doing, Keith? Killed by bye week and injuries. Need a flex. So I go with Jalen Noel. Or is there anyone else on waivers getting? No, I kind of like Noel, quite frankly. With no Nico Collins. Is that I mean, the guy really showed up and showed out last week. It's a decent matchup against San Francisco. I ride Noel, not knowing what the other options are that are out there. Joey says, why does that one guy have both Hurts and Allen? Because he plays in a 4-team league. There are people that exist that don't challenge themselves. Roger says, a full point PPR pick 2, Stevenson, Judkins, or Dowdle. It's Judkins and Dowdle. For me, I'm still sticking with Rico, folks. I really do like him today. Doug says, hola, Doug. Half point PPR, Jennings or Tez? I'm going to go Tez. Again, wrote about him on thegamingjuice.com. You want all the gory details, go to the site. It's free. Click on my fantasy flames at wide receiver and tight end. You'll see it. Tez doing an awesome flip in the picture. Grab that from Imagine. Shout out to my friends at Imagine. For the deep archive of photographs. Standard League need 2. Jennings, Tez, Bill, or Malik Washington. It's Tez, and it's probably Bill for the second one there. Gypsy's adding more context here. Apologies. Evan Ingram, Harold Fan, and Theo Johnson. If Evan Ingram is out there, the Joker in a mother of all matchup situation against Dallas. There you go. That's what you do. Gypsy says Dart or Love. I'm going to go Love, although it's close. Daniel says, Hola, I have Love. Should I drop him? No, I'm not dropping him. I will play Jordan Love. It's comparable. I mean, Flacco's and Mariota are a little bit lower on the tier. It's comparable value, though, for Rodgers and Love. So no, I don't think you need to drop anybody. Aaron Rodgers or Caleb Williams. I'm going to go Caleb Williams there, Gypsy. Good luck. Peter, yes, I'm 7-0 also, like my man AS. Congratulations. Bravo. Take victory laps. Pat yourself on the back. Mason Taylor questions. I bet on him in the over 39.5 receiving yards. I pray that he's going to be playing and is going to be able to survive 4 quarters. It's the best matchup. It is indeed a mother of all matchup situation. Taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, who've allowed the most fantasy points to opposing tight ends this season. So, yeah, let's hope he plays well. The Jets are a disaster. Justin Mayer, Flacco. I'm going to go May barely. Rick says Danny Dimes became Danny Pennies, and now he's Danny Dollars. Oh, yeah, I see what you did there. Clever. Daniel says, I need to start one. Zay Flowers or Terry McLaurin. I'll start. I'll roll the dice on Terry McLaurin. I don't feel great about it, though. Pat says, maybe I missed if you answered already. Yes, I did answer this. And I went with T. Higgins there, mi amigo. James says Diggs or Pittman. Give me Stephon Diggs. Friendly reminder, I'm Brad Evans. I've been in the fantasy business for 2 decades. I was at Yahoo once for 13 and a half years. Started the show called Fantasy Football Live, which is still chugging along. It's great to see. And then they let me go in 2020. Started my own thing. Exit out of that. Went to Bally Sports. Dissolved our unit there. And I was like, I got to write somewhere. So I started a new site called Fade the what's the name of your site, Evans? Yeah, it's called The Gaming Juice, not The Fade 5. That's my podcast. And I have a radio show nationally on iHeart stations and also on Odyssey. It's called BetMGM Tonight. Check it out. BetMGM Tonight, 7-11 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. So I've been around a long time. For some reason, they put me in the Fantasy Sports Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's a real thing. So I guess I'm a person of importance. And I love answering your questions and interacting with you, the members of Team Oevo. So I'm doing a little AMA as I do every single Sunday here at the same bad time and channel. And it streams on all those platforms. And that's how you can get a contact of me if you got any questions or comments. You want to, again, take your victory laps. If you want to, touch yourself in special places, I'm 7-0. You guys are losers. I'm awesome. Yeah, I understand. You're great. But these are the ways for the people that actually need help. Facebook, Yahoo Noise, Twitch, Big Noise 78, YouTube, the Fade Noise channel, and on X, where I'm always giving it to you there at Noisy Huevos. Again, on X at Noisy Huevos. By the way, folks, I'm also going to be on Bleacher Report with my good buddy Danny Kleppinger here in about an hour and 15 minutes. That broadcast streams on YouTube and also plays on the BR app. So check that out. Another AMA style. We answer a bunch of your questions and rifling through a bunch of player props in every single game. So we're serving all of the fantasy and gaming masses. Check that out at bleacherreport.com, the Bleacher Report app, and on YouTube. But again, those are the ways you get a hold of me here on the broadcast right now if you want your question answered. Also, go to my free website and sign up for a free account. It's called thegamingjuice.com. You jackals. I got all my fantasy football rankings there, updated them late last night. And there really wasn't too much breaking news that came out outside like Tua Tagovailoa dealing with his illness, but he is going to play today. So I got my rankings there, always ranked for a half point PPR. I don't have time to rank for other leagues. I just don't. And then I have all of my Fantasy Flames pieces. I love the written word. No AI wrote any of that. That comes straight from this cavernous dome. Hello. That's what I hear in my head. And yeah, I mean, you could obviously pump stuff into AI and say, give me the facts and figures, but are they going to spend it in a fun and entertaining way? No, they're not. That's the goal. at my website, thegamingjuice.com. That's the goal of my writing style and why I'm the most decorated writer in fantasy football history. Gotta have fun with the content, right? And I do get stuff wrong, but I keep on firing, whether on fantasy picks, betting picks, soon bracketology's around the corner. I'll be firing that up in January. All on my free website, thegamingjuice.com. So sign up for a free account. All right. We got more questions coming in. Roger says, you're the best, Brett. Thanks. I appreciate you joining the broadcast, Roger. Good luck to you and all of your fantasy decisions and games today. James says, gross decision in a DPBR league. Here from my one flex. Let's see. Tony Pollard, Kendrick Bourne, Malik Washington, or Sterling Shepard. Let me grab a bucket and just spew right into it. I mean, I think you have to go with the guaranteed volume. It may not be cranked because Carolina's so bad, or excuse me, Tennessee is so bad. But I'm going to still go with Tony Pollard and pray that maybe he just trips and falls into the end zone. Eric says, P. Reiner Ford. Here is the bye week blues by definition. When you are deciding between Samaje Perine and Jerome Ford, that really sums it up perfectly, folks. I guess I will go Ford. Good luck. Mike says, good morning, Tez or Terry or Franklin. Pick two, please. I'm going to go Franklin and Tez. I don't really fully trust Terry McLaurin coming off that injury. And the strength of that Kansas City defense is clear on the back end and that secondary. So that's the direction that I go. James says, thanks for all that you do, Brad. Well, I appreciate you. And I appreciate you checking out the site and tuning in these broadcasts every single week. All right. It appears I've exhausted every single question here on this Bring the Noise AMA. Again, friendly reminder, go to my website, thegamingjuice.com. Sign up for a free account right stinking now. Again, I won't charge you a penny. And I'm cranking all kinds of content, self-editing. Everything I do, I build everything from scratch, all for the love of the gaming audiences, whether you're a bettor or a fantasy player. So go to my tremendous site and shout out to my partner there, Dave Morgan and Boom Press for that platform. Really easy to use. I'm a big fan of everything that we're doing. And maybe eventually we'll monetize it. We shall see. Maybe I'll partner with somebody, be like, oh, yeah, your content is awesome. Let's use it on our website. I'm always down with those conversations. It's not AI. Writers over robots. Remember that. Nobody wants to interact with a robot when they get something right or wrong anyway, because they're not going to respond any form or fashion. I am here. Alexa says, great job. I'm glad I was able to help. What kind of satisfaction do you get out of that? None whatsoever. Kind of hate the AI stuff, to be frank. So yeah, go to thegamingjuice.com and check it out. Yeah, it's kind of a get off my lawn moment in my 40s. It's kind of crazy. Again, those are the questions, various ways you get a hold of me here on the broadcast in the future. But go to betalytics.com and sign up with promo code JUICE for 25% off. Promo code JUICE for 25% off. That site slays it in their analysis. Use it as one of your data points every single week. Again, promo code JUICE for 25% off. Again, I'm going to be on Bleacher Report here in just over an hour. Danny Klobuchar answering more of your fantasy questions and sports betting needs. And also check out BetMGM tonight, Monday through Friday, 7-11 p.m. Eastern time across iHeart and Odyssey stations. Also streams on my website for free at thegamingjuice.com if you want to see this punchable face even more. All right. I think that is it. Although there's a couple of questions that have come in. I'll go ahead and address it right now. This one from Mark, Standard League. Golden, Chubb, or would Dotson be worth a pickup with AJ out? I'm going to go with Golden. Daniel says, Amigo, Zay Flowers or Terry McLaurin. Give me Zay Flowers. And then Ray Flyer has been very chatty in this edition of Bring the Noise. Says Thomason 19-2-3 as a home dog, +3 or more, maybe. All right, there you go. So some sports betting facts and figures to round things out. Good luck and all of your fantasy plays, your sports bets in week 8. I'll be back here next week at the same time. And of course, going to be on Bleacher Report here in just over an hour. Adios, amigos. See ya.